After my promotion, my MIL sent a group text saying, "Good for her. Maybe now she'll stop taking from him." I didn't respond. But a week later, she asked if I'd co-sign on a loan for her boutique. I sent her the application, stamped with denied in red ink and a note. "I don't lend to liars. I'm 37. Been with my husband, Kevin, for 10 years. Married for 7. We live just outside Kansas City. I work in corporate marketing. Kevin works HVAC. We live a normal life, decent house, 2 cars, no kids yet. A few months ago, I finally got promoted. After 5 years at the same company, working overtime, managing teams, taking weekend classes to finish my MBA, my boss called me in and said, 'You've earned it. Regional director. Full-time salary jump. Benefits. Stock. Everything I had worked toward.' Kevin was happy for me. Really happy. He grilled steaks that night, popped open a bottle of wine we'd been saving. We invited a few friends over. Just a small backyard thing, nothing flashy. We laughed, we ate, and for the first time in years, I let myself feel proud. But Cheryl, Kevin's mother, had other feelings. She wasn't at the party. She wasn't invited. That was Kevin's call. She and I aren't close. She plays nice when he's around, but I know she hates me. Has from the start. I didn't even know she knew about the promotion until 2 days later. My sister-in-law, Rachel, sent me a screenshot of a group text. It was Cheryl, Rachel, her other daughter Nicole, and 2 of their cousins. Right in the middle of the conversation was Cheryl's message. "Good for her. Maybe now she'll stop taking from him." I stared at that message for a long time. Taking from him? I've paid half of everything since day one. Rent, groceries, cars, insurance. When Kevin lost his job 5 years ago, I supported us for 8 months. I even helped pay down his credit card debt so we could buy a house. I co-signed on his car when his credit was still garbage. And I never, not once, made him feel small about it. But she says I take from him? I didn't reply, didn't text back, didn't forward it to Kevin. I just took a screenshot, saved it, and filed it away in a folder on my phone titled ML Nonsense. That was it. I was done with her. Or so I thought. 1 week later, Cheryl called me. No warning. I was at work, just finishing up emails, and I saw her name pop up. I let it go to voicemail. Then she texted, "Can we talk? I have a quick favor to ask." I ignored it until I got home. Then, out of curiosity, I called her back. Her voice was all sugar. "Sweetheart, congratulations again on your promotion. You really deserve it." I said thanks, keeping it short. Then she got to the point. "I've been working on a little project. I've always wanted to open my own boutique. Just a small shop, handmade crafts, local clothes, candles, that kind of thing. I even found a space to lease in Brookside. The bank is ready to approve the loan. But they said I need a co-signer." I didn't say anything. "So," she continued, "I thought of you. You have such stable income now. It wouldn't be any risk. Just your name on the application. You wouldn't have to do anything after that. Just a formality, really." I asked her to email me the loan paperwork. She practically sang with joy. Said she'd send it over by that night. She did. It was a full packet, PDFs, signatures needed, full personal information required. I read through every line. The numbers didn't even make sense. Her budget for initial merchandise was nearly 20 grand, and she listed me as a 50% partner without asking. I didn't yell. I didn't call. I didn't even respond. Instead, I printed the loan documents. Highlighted every spot where she listed me as a co-signer or financial backer. Then I stamped every single page in red ink. Denied. I wrote a short note on the cover. "I don't lend to liars." I sealed everything in a yellow envelope and drove to Cheryl's house. I didn't knock. I didn't ring the bell. I just dropped the envelope in her mailbox. 3 days passed. Then Kevin got the call. I was in the kitchen when his phone rang. I could hear her yelling from across the room. She was screaming that I was petty, mean, ungrateful, that I'd embarrassed her, that I was trying to turn him against her. He kept his voice low, said he saw the screenshot, said she crossed a line, told her I didn't owe her anything. She hung up on him. Kevin didn't really defend me the way I hoped. He didn't exactly take her side, but he didn't step up either. He said something like, "She's just old-fashioned, babe. You know how she is." I let it go. For now. But I wasn't done with Cheryl. Because a few weeks later, I found out something that made me realize this was deeper than I thought. Someone had submitted a credit application using my name and email. Not my exact info, but close enough to raise a red flag. The address listed was Cheryl's. The business name? Cheryl's Charm Boutique. She had tried to apply for a small business grant pretending I was her silent partner. She used my resume, my job title, my promotion as proof of shared assets. And she never told me. I found out when I got a call from a grant coordinator at a local business incubator. She asked if I was interested in coming to a co-founder pitch night. I said, "What pitch?" That's when everything changed. I asked the coordinator to send me everything they had. She forwarded the application packet that Cheryl had submitted. My name was on every page. She had copied my LinkedIn profile word for word. Said I was co-founding her boutique, handling all marketing, and providing business leadership. She claimed we were longtime collaborators and that I had committed to a financial stake. She even attached a fake letter, typed, not signed, saying I would contribute $15,000 towards startup costs. And she used my personal email address. I sat at my desk just staring at it. My chest was tight. My hands shook. I couldn't even get angry at first. I was just stunned. Then it hit me, if she'd pulled this off, it could have ruined me. If the grant office had done any financial background checks, it would have flagged me. If she defaulted on anything, it would have dragged my name down with hers. I called Kevin. Told him everything. He didn't believe me. Not at first. He said, "There's no way she'd do that. Maybe it's a mistake." So I emailed him the documents. All of them. It was dead silent on the phone while he read. Finally he said, "Jesus Christ." That night, he called her. I sat on the couch, listening from the hallway. He wasn't yelling, but I'd never heard his voice like that before, sharp, disgusted. "How could you do this? How could you use her name like that? What the hell were you thinking, Mom?" She tried to play dumb at first. Said she must have gotten confused, that someone else helped her fill out the forms, that maybe the coordinator typed it wrong. But Kevin wasn't buying it. He said, "You copied her resume. You used her email. Don't play dumb. You lied." She started crying. Said I had poisoned him against her. Said I always hated her, that I was trying to erase her from her own son's life. Kevin told her not to call him for a while. Then he hung up. I thought that would be it. But Cheryl wasn't done. She showed up at our house the next morning. I was in the kitchen when I heard pounding on the front door. Not knocking, pounding. Kevin opened it. She pushed her way inside like she owned the place. Her eyes were red, her lipstick smudged, and she was shaking. "I raised you," she yelled. "I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me? With that woman? With her lies." I stepped out from the kitchen and said, calm and clear, "Get out." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. Kevin said it too, firmer this time. "Mom, get out." She screamed. Right there in the middle of our living room. "You think she loves you? You think she didn't plan this? She's turning you into someone I don't even recognize." Kevin grabbed her arm, not hard, just enough to guide her toward the door. She turned to me and hissed, "You'll regret this." And then she left. But she wasn't bluffing. 3 days later, I got a call from HR at my job. Someone had submitted a concerned report about my side business. Said I was using company time and resources to work on a retail startup. Claimed I'd been sending business emails and taking calls unrelated to my role. HR said they had to investigate. Even though they didn't believe the claims, they needed to do a formal review. That's when I knew she was trying to ruin me. And I decided, if Cheryl wanted war, she picked the wrong woman. I knew Cheryl had made the complaint. Nobody else knew about her fake boutique application. Nobody else had a motive. I didn't tell HR that right away. Instead, I calmly went through the process. I let them audit my emails, check my devices, even sit in on a few meetings. They found nothing, because there was nothing. I do my job. I do it well. And I keep my personal life separate. But I wasn't going to just let it slide. While HR did their review, I went to work on my own plan. First, I called the grant office back. I asked them for every file submitted under Cheryl's name. They said they couldn't legally give me everything unless I was listed as a co-founder. I told them to check the documents again. They called me back an hour later. Said, "You're right. She named you as a business partner. That gives you full access." I had them send the full packet. It was worse than I thought. She'd forged my signature. Not a perfect match, but close enough that someone could have believed it if they didn't know better. She'd attached a fake business account with a joint account holder listed as K. Martin, my maiden name, which I hadn't used in years. She was trying to make it look like we'd already started pooling money. That's when I realized this wasn't just petty. This was illegal. I printed everything, put it in a binder, labeled it with dates and sections, sent a copy to my lawyer. Yeah, I got a lawyer. Not because I wanted to sue her, not yet, but because I needed someone official in my corner. And here's the twist I didn't see coming. While I was gathering documents, Rachel, Kevin's sister, texted me. She asked if we could talk. Said she had something to tell me. We met up at a diner off I-35. She looked nervous. Said she didn't want to get involved, but felt like she had to. Then she told me something that stopped me cold. "She's been doing this for years," Rachel said. "You're not the first." Turns out, Cheryl had a pattern. She'd done the same thing to one of her old friends back in 2016. Faked a joint investment for a food truck idea. That one never went anywhere, but the woman lost her savings and had to move back in with her parents. She'd even pulled something similar with Nicole. Her other daughter used Nicole's name to try and get approved for a vendor spot at a craft fair, ran up a bunch of fees, and left Nicole to deal with the mess. Rachel said, "We always cover for her. I'm tired of it. She's going to wreck your life if you let her." That was all I needed to hear. So I went to Kevin. I laid it out. Everything. The forged application, the false complaint to my job, her history. Rachel backed me up. And Kevin finally broke. He sat on the edge of the bed with his head in his hands and said, "What kind of person is my mother?" I didn't answer. He needed to figure that out on his own. But I knew what kind of person I was. I wasn't the type to take a beating and keep quiet. This wasn't about pride anymore. This was about stopping her before she did this to anyone else. And I knew just where to strike next. I waited 2 weeks. 2 weeks of quiet. During that time, Kevin barely spoke to his mother. Rachel sent me old emails and texts, more proof of Cheryl's long trail of lies. I met with my lawyer twice. We put together a packet of everything: fake business filings, forged signatures, the HR complaint, screenshots, and witness statements. Then I made one last move. I filed a police report. Not because I wanted her arrested, not yet, but because I wanted it on record. Forgery, fraud, identity theft. And I knew what Cheryl feared more than jail: public shame. I also filed a complaint with the Small Business Grant Office, attaching every page of evidence. They started their own investigation immediately. Then I printed a single copy of everything and mailed it to Cheryl. Certified mail. Signature required. 3 days later, I got the notification she had signed for it. That same night, I got a call. It wasn't her voice on the line. It was her husband. Frank is quiet, soft-spoken. I've known him 10 years and barely heard him raise his voice. But this time he sounded different. Broken. He said, "I had no idea she was doing all this. I didn't say much. Just, now you do. He apologized. For everything. Then, 2 days later, Cheryl called. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She begged. Please, she said. I made a mistake. I didn't think it would go this far. She asked me to withdraw the complaint. Said she'd pay a fine, take a class, anything but court. I listened. Then I said, you didn't just cross a line, Cheryl. You burned the whole field. She said I was destroying her. I told her she did that herself. That night, Kevin sat me down. He said he wanted to cut contact with her for good. Said he was done protecting her from the consequences of her actions. Then he did something I never expected. He told me he had messed up too. He admitted that years ago, Cheryl told him not to marry me. Said I'd use him. That I was beneath him. That I'd trap him with a career and make him feel small. And Kevin said, he listened. Not fully, but he admitted those words had lived in his head for years. He said he was sorry for ever letting her poison get near us. That he should have defended me more. That he should have believed me right away. I didn't forgive him then. I told him I needed time. Because the truth was he had let her words rot between us. He had stayed silent when I needed him to speak. He said he'd wait. In the end, Cheryl's boutique never opened. The grant was pulled. Her name was blacklisted from the program. The police didn't arrest her, but the DA issued her a formal warning. And worst of all for her, her husband left. Frank packed a bag, drove to his brother's place in Wichita, and didn't look back. Rachel and Nicole stopped talking to her too. It didn't feel like a victory. It felt like the end of a storm, one that wrecked everything in its path. But now that it had passed, the air was finally still. Kevin and I are still together for now. We're in counseling. It's hard. It's real. And we're working through it, slowly. But Cheryl? She's alone. She tried to ruin my name. And in the end, she lost her own.